everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Ashley Spear and I am a nutrition student in the master's program at the Maryland University of Integrative Health. And today I am going to be talking to you about cauliflower. Now, cauliflower is one of my absolute favorite vegetables. It's incredibly versatile, can be used as a replacement for all sorts of things that I'm going to show you today. Yeah, and I really just love it. It's affordable, really easy to work with. And yeah, so cauliflower doesn't have to be your boring, steamed, kind of bland vegetable. It can be so much more than that. So today we're going to be going through 3 recipes to show you sort of new, fun, and exciting ways to incorporate more cauliflower and vegetables into your diet. So we're going to take sort of an appetizer, side dish, entree kind of approach to things. So we're going to be starting off with with buffalo cauliflower bites. So think of it kind of as your alternative for a buffalo wing. A fun way to sneak some veggies in there. And then we are going to be following it up with a mashed cauliflower, super easy to make, about 4 ingredients, a lot of fun. And finally, the main event is going to be our cauliflower pizza crust. So yeah, we're gonna get started. So we're gonna get started with the buffalo cauliflower bites. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this head of cauliflower here. The recipe calls for a medium to large head. This is more on the larger side. Let me grab my knife. So this is already washed. I'm just going to peel the leaves off. And what we're going to do is we are going to cut the cauliflower into bite-sized florets because they're going to be kind of our sort of chicken wing. So white cauliflower is often the most common cauliflower that you see in the grocery store, but there's also a lot of other fun colors as well. There's orange, there's purple, which is a lot of fun, and there is a green one called Romanesco, and it's kind of this pyramidal sort of looking thing. It's really neat, sort of this fractal kind of design to it. It's gorgeous. I could not find any of those, but yellow cauliflower is really interesting because it contains more vitamin A. Purple cauliflower has a lot of anthocyanins in it, and those are compounds that are sort of anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory compounds that you can also find in red cabbage and red wine as well. So eating your purple cabbage is kind of like, purple cauliflower is kind of like drinking a glass of red wine. Think of it that way. So I'm only going to do half just for the sake of time. So you can either cut it down in florets or you can just break it with your fingers. Either way is fine. These are pretty easy to break. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, like I said, white cauliflower is the most common, but it's also packed with a ton of great nutrients, which is why I love it so much. It's part of the cruciferous vegetable family, so that includes your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, your kale, your collard greens, among other veggies, and they have a lot of great compounds in them. Some studies have shown that they can fight cancer, and they're very low glycemic, so they're a great sort of vegetable to incorporate in your diet. And white cauliflower is neat because it is so high in vitamin C and fiber, so it's really great for your bowels, immune system, all that good stuff. So I have my bites all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is next I'm going to make a batter for them. So what I have measured out in here already is a half a cup of brown rice flour, a pinch of garlic powder, and a pinch of Celtic sea salt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that all together. And these are great because the brown rice flour is a whole grain flour and it's gluten-free. So if you have any gluten sensitivities, celiacs, this is a great alternative. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my mixed up brown rice mixture. I'm going to put half a cup of water that I've already measured. And this is going to be the damp part, so it's Going to be nice and easy for dipping. Oh, and I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to 450 degrees while you're doing this. Just get it all ready to go. So, doesn't take long to stir. Becomes kind of a pasty mixture. So what we're going to do next is I have a pan lined with parchment paper to prevent sticking, and I am going to thoroughly and evenly coat each piece of cauliflower. And then I'm going to lay it on the parchment paper. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bake this once for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the batter hardens. So it really depends on your oven. Mine can take a little while, so it might take a tad bit longer, but that's all right. And then we're going to make a buffalo sauce that we're going to baste it with when the batter hardens on the cauliflower. Then we're going to bake it again, and then we'll be all good to go. So yeah, like I said, this is a really awesome veggie that you can kind of make into just about anything. It can be a meat substitute, sneaky way to get your kids to eat some more veggies. And another thing to note, when this bakes with the batter, it's not going to turn a golden brown. It's going to stay this sort of pale mixture. I learned that the hard way the first time I worked with it, because I hadn't baked with brown rice flour before quite like this. And it doesn't get that nice golden brown in this recipe, at least. So I'm just going to do a few just to show you. So I have the cauliflower all ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and just pop that in the oven for us. And I'm going to set the timer because I don't always pay attention to the time. So I'm going to set that for 8 minutes. And the timer will go off and we'll check on it again. So next, this is one of my favorite parts. It's really quick and easy, and I love it, is we're going to go on to the mashed cauliflower. So what I've done is I've taken a full head of cauliflower, medium, large, whatever you want to do is great, and I have steamed my cauliflower. I first cut it into florets, so they're kind of bite-sized pieces. I steamed it, and then I put it in this bowl. So the best way to keep the nutrients in your cauliflower when you're cooking it, the best cooking techniques are typically steaming, stir-frying, or even microwave, something that doesn't take a lot of time, like the heat isn't applied for an extended period of time, because that can cause the nutrients to leach out, especially the vitamin C, which cauliflower is so high in, is sensitive to heat. So I steamed it for the sake of keeping our nutrients in there. And so what I'm going to do next is you can either do 4 tablespoons of grass-fed butter or ghee. I'm going to use olive oil today because I really love the taste. Get some extra unsaturated fats in your diet. So I have my extra virgin olive oil here. And I'm going to eyeball it. And I'm going to do about 4 tablespoons. You might have to adjust it a little bit based on how large your head of cauliflower was, or even how creamy you like your mixture to be. So this is kind of our liquid when we start blending it up. So what you can do after this is you can either put it into your Vitamix if you have one, I do not sadly, or a food processor, and you're going to blend it down, or you can even use a hand blender if you have one, which I do, and I'm going to use. So we're going to take our hand blender, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start blending it up. Note to self, if you have a hand blender, I also learned this the hard way, you want to make sure you don't press the on button when it is elevated in the air, make sure you're pressing down and you are in food and in a bowl to make sure cauliflower does not fly everywhere. And what's awesome about this, if you wanted, you could even do like regular mashed potatoes. You can put milk in there, sour cream. You can even do garlic. Or if you're feeling extra fancy, you could do roasted garlic, which will give it a sweeter, kind of nuttier flavor. Throw any fresh herbs or spices or dried herbs and spices. This is sort of your chance to really be creative. Okay. And again, with this, you can make it as creamy or as chunky as you'd like to. You just blend it longer or shorter depending on what you're looking for. So just to show you what I have so far. I have a little bit of a mash. It's a little difficult to see, but it's all smushed up. It kind of looks just like mashed potatoes. So it's a great like side dish you could use for Thanksgiving, kind of fool everyone. And so what you want to do next is you can add, I have cracked black pepper and sea salt, and you can just add it to taste. I like pepper. So I'm going to go a little crazy on the pepper. And then, also have my Celtic sea salt. Do a pretty decent sized pinch in there. Several pinches. And I'm going to just mix it all up. You can do it by spoon, or if you really want to incorporate it, you can use the hand blender again. That's pretty darn good. Awesome. So I'm going to set that aside. So like I said, really quick, easy thing to do. Great side dish. So next, while we continue to wait for our buffalo bites, we are going to work on the pizza crust. Actually, first, just kidding. First, we're going to do the sauce for the buffalo bites. So what it calls for is a half a cup of hot sauce. My favorite hot sauce to use, which reminds me of sort of buffalo sauce, is Red Devil. Got it from Whole Foods. It's a cayenne pepper sauce. It's vinegar based, so it has that kind of buffalo sauce flavor. So I measure that out, half a cup. And what you could do next is you could do 4 tablespoons of grass-fed butter, or ghee, or olive oil if you want. I have some grass-fed butter that I heated up. 4 tablespoons that I've measured out. And I'm going to just add it into the mix here. And I'm just going to mix it up. And so that's just going to be ready to go for when we baste our cauliflower bites, which are in the oven. So yeah, just all mixed up. So like I said, you could use any hot sauce you want. It's really your choice. You could add an extra pinch of garlic powder in there if you like it a little more garlicky. You could do a milder sauce if you're not into that. And what's a lot of fun about these buffalo bites is you can cut up celery or carrot sticks or serve it with blue cheese. You can really like dress it up like you would a buffalo wing. So that's a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and peek at our cauliflower bites. I could use another minute. That's okay. We've got things to do. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about our cauliflower pizza crust. And why I love this crust so much is it is a grain-free crust, and it really ends up shaping up to be a lot like pizza crust. So, like I said before, cauliflower is a low glycemic index food, so that means it doesn't spike your blood sugar up, and then you have that crash later. It keeps blood sugar pretty even, and it's full of fiber and a lot of great nutrients. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the cauliflower rice I have made here. So you want to take a head of cauliflower, medium, large, your preference, and what you're going to do is throw it into a blender or a food processor after you cut it up into small florets, and you're going to process it down. It doesn't take very long, into a rice-like texture. So I'm going to try to show you here. Kind of looks like the mashed potatoes, but take my word for it, it is crumbly. Let me actually bring it around. So try not to spill it on the computer. So it ended up making quite a bit of rice. And what's great about this is you could use it for a cauliflower fried rice, just a rice alternative in general, and it's great for that. And so then what I did is I steamed it, and if you don't have a way to steam, you can always put it in a large pot and cover it with like an inch of water. Bring it to a boil and let it go for 3 to 4 minutes. And that just kind of cooks it a little bit so it doesn't have that hard, raw cauliflower texture, because we want it a little soft. Not complete porridge or mush, but sort of soft to bite. So the oven just went out for the buffalo bites, so I'm going to just pull them out real quick. So like I said, they don't get like golden brown. They stay about the same, but what you want to do is you kind of touch the top, and they're firm. So I'm going to take our buffalo sauce, and I have this really great little pastry brush. It is silicone. You could use a plastic one. I prefer these just because I don't really take care of the hair, if it's real hair, very well. So this is a great, easy, quick to clean one. Doesn't collect a lot of bacteria, so this is kind of my preferred method. So what you're going to do, basically, you're just going to baste the cauliflower in as much or as little of the buffalo sauce as you would like. Sizzling. And it smells like buffalo wings. Guilt-free buffalo wings. So I'm just going to go ahead, finish this last one up. And if you want it, because this only goes in one more time and bakes again, if you want to do a double coating, you totally can. So, I'll just go ahead and show you. So we have basted our cauliflower buffalo bites, and what we're going to do is we are going to pop them back into the oven at 450 for 10 more minutes until like the sauce is soaked up. Just going to set my timer. Perfect. Okay, while we wait for that, back to the pizza crust. Multitasking, it's good. So, like I said, we have our cauliflower rice right here, which is fantastic. And we steamed it. And so now is the most important step, is we need cauliflower is full of water. It is mostly water. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the excess moisture out of the cauliflower. And what that's going to do is give us a really nice crisp crust. So what I'm going to do is I have a nut bag here. So what it is you can make almond milk out of it, or with it rather, any kind of nut milk. It's sort of like a cheesecloth for people who struggle with cleaning and using cheesecloth like I do. I bought it for $6 at Roots. It's reusable, you can rinse it out real quick, but it's a fine mesh bag that has a little string here, so you can kind of close it up, don't lose anything. And what we're going to do is I've let this cool, because another thing is we do not want to burn ourselves by steaming the cauliflower and putting it right in the bag. Because it's really hot and you're going to be squeezing this with your bare hands. And if you don't have a nut bag or you can't find one, you can use a cheesecloth easily. That's completely fine. Or a very clean, thin dish towel is also great. So what we're going to do is we're just going to squeeze the water out of it. And it's going to make it that really crispy crust, which is going to be phenomenal. And so if you have kids or an audience member, which unfortunately I do not tonight, they were not able to make it for a second night, and they can do this squeezing work. This is actually the most labor-intensive part of this. It's so worth it. But it's actually a really good hand and forearm workout. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this extra bowl and I'm going to squeeze the liquid out. And as you can see, there is a significant amount of liquid that's coming out. Make sure you don't spill it all over the table like I am. Or on your clothes. So yeah, so I'm just really just squeezing the liquid out. And what you're going to notice is what was half a bowl of cauliflower becomes like a quarter of a bowl of cauliflower because there was so much water in there that we got rid of. And it's going to look like we have nothing left, but I promise you, do not panic. We will have plenty. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze all that out. Almost there. Close. You can feel it. Literally. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take our bowl that we're using. My screensaver went on, so going to make sure we're still good. And so, as you can see, we have like very little left, but that's totally okay because it's going to be perfect. So I'm going to set my cloth aside. What we're going to do next to our crust is we're going to take one egg. So I have this awesome pasture-raised egg that I got from a local farm. Eggs are awesome because they are high in vitamin D. Just a great addition to your diet. And it's a binder for our crust because putting the crust in as is, it's not going to be quite enough. It's all going to crumble and fall apart. And our next binder is going to be goat cheese, soft goat cheese. So this is about 4 or 5 ounces of soft goat cheese that I am just going to plop right into our bowl with our cauliflower and our egg. And this is going to be another binder, and it gives us a great creamy flavor. I can get it all out. There we go. Perfect. And then what we are going to do is take a teaspoon of oregano, so dried oregano, or if you have fresh, that's great. Just add a little extra then. So I'm just going to take a teaspoon of oregano, put it in there. And next, because we love our sea salt so much, we're going to put a pinch of the Celtic sea salt in there for some flavor. So we have all of our ingredients in a bowl, and so this is another fun part for the kids or our friends or yourself. I really like this part, is we're going to just start mixing everything together. You use a whisk, a spoon. I don't like a whisk as much for this just because lots of things stick and you're kind of spending more of your time scraping everything out of the whisk. So I just use a spoon. And what I'm going to do next is use my hands. So make sure your hands are clean. And what you're going to do is you are just going to incorporate everything by hand. Make sure everything's mixed really evenly. And like I told you before, my cauliflower rice was cooled down because you don't want to squeeze boiling hot water out of it. It doesn't matter to help make the goat cheese soft. The temperature of your hands kind of does it. So what I'm going to do next, it smells amazing, by the way. I'm going to wash my hands. So it gets gooey. That's okay. And what I'm going to do is take a baking sheet, and since I only have one baking sheet in the house that is currently in use, I have a Pyrex can lined with parchment paper. Again, parchment paper is our friend. It prevents sticking. And you don't have to use extra oils or fats. You can just use the parchment paper. And we're going to take our cauliflower mixture and put it right in the center. And also to mention, this pizza crust isn't going to be your typical pizza crust, like a big dough ball. It's not going to feel like that. It's going to be pretty gooey and mushy. And it also depends on the size of your cauliflower. So it's not always going to be totally consistent, but I promise you it's going to be delicious every time. So what we're going to do next is we have our plopped out pizza crust. We're going to use our clean hands again, and we are going to pat it down into whatever shape you want, but I try to make it as even as possible with my hands. So I do about 1/3 of an inch thick. You can make it a rectangle, you can make it a circle, you can make it a heart if you're feeling really fancy. I'm just kind of making it sort of an oval-like shape. And if you want, you can kind of make little indents in the edge and make it a little more of an upraised side to hold your pizza sauce in when you end up putting it on. So what I'm going to do now is wash my hands one more time because this is messy. And, oh, by the way, also preheat your oven to 400 degrees for this. And we have our pizza crust. Imperfect, but delicious. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop this into the oven for 35 to 40 minutes at 400 degrees or until it starts turning like a golden color. So you can pop that in there. Set our timer. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you, since in the interest of time we are not going to be waiting around for that, but I've pre-made for us a pizza crust. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Pre-baked, already done. So as you can see, this one's a lot larger. It's golden. The edges got a little golden brown. And it actually has like the consistency of a pizza crust. Like you could cut it and you could lift it up like you would a normal grain-based pizza crust, which is really great. So what we're going to do next is we are going to top our beautiful pizza crust. And this is the fun part. Like pizza, you can do whatever you want with pizza. It's so much fun. You can get creative with it. So I have a pizza sauce, an organic pizza sauce that I love. That's basically tomatoes, olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. Pretty simple. And I'm just gonna drizzle it on there. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do, voila, kind of a mess, is I'm going to spread it out. You can spread it as far to the edges as you want. Make it as thin or as thick as you want. If you don't like tomatoes, you don't even have to do a pizza sauce. It's totally up to you. You do whatever you want with it. And what's also really great about this pizza crust is after you bake it, you can actually put it in the freezer, and it freezes really nicely. So if you want a quick, easy meal, all you have to do is take out the crust, throw your toppings on it, pop it in the oven at 400 for like 10 or 15 minutes, and you're good to go, and it's dinner. It's fantastic. So you can make a ton of cauliflower rice beforehand, squeeze all the water out of it, bust out some pizza crust, and you are good to go. You just freeze it up. Okay, so I've spread that out, and what I'm going to do next is, because I found this really beautiful buffalo mozzarella, so those big mozzarella balls at the grocery store, I'm going to take that and I'm going to slice it up because I love like a margarita pizza. And I also have these absolutely beautiful heirloom tomatoes that I got and I love, so I'm going to slice those up and put them on as well. Again, you totally don't have to do mozzarella. You can do whatever toppings you want. Just get creative. It's yours to do whatever you want with. So I'm going to just go ahead, lay those on, cut that up. I'm going to use these fresh tomatoes. Tomatoes are an amazing fruit. We know them often as a vegetable, but they're actually a fruit. They are high in lycopene, which is also sort of a cancer fighter. And the lycopene is most concentrated when the tomatoes are cooked or heated, which is what we're going to do. They're raw right now. Take a look at that. That's really cool, the sort of striations of color. So we're going to put them on top of the pizza, and we're gonna bake it, so it's gonna be good to go. So I'm just gonna take a few more slices of this tomato, slightly different. That's what's fun about the heirloom ones. They're all kind of unique. So have our pizza ready to go. So I'm gonna just pop it back in the oven for about 10 minutes. Took out our buffalo bites because we don't want to forget about those lovely things. I'm going to show you. It's a little difficult to see, but they've absorbed their sauce. So I'm going to take a spatula. Be careful, it's very hot. Just going to lay them out. They're sizzling, very hot. So the cauliflower has actually cooked because we started, if you remember, with raw florets. Cauliflower has cooked. So it's tender now. So we have our beautiful buffalo cauliflower bites. And like I said, you could serve it with celery, blue cheese, whatever you want. Let your imagination run wild. So yeah, those are our 3 recipes: the buffalo bites, the mashed cauliflower, and the pizza, which is baking right now. Quick and easy ways to get more veggies in your diet. And cauliflower, like I said, is such an amazing and versatile vegetable. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something. Thank you so much.